So, is all you really need is kill? We'll find out. We're talking about the Edge of Tomorrow here on the OSMcast.
Actually, I don't think we should talk about the Edge of Tomorrow.
Alright, well then how about the best jewel heist movie of 1981? It's a podcast starring everybody.
And me.
This is the OSMcast. Hey folks, and welcome back to the OSMcast. Actually, back to the OSMcast, a real episode.
Huzzah!
It's been forever. Complete with OSMcast action, starring me, Basil, the guy who talks first. Also starring
Kevin,
the guy who talks second.
Doug.
And Doug, the guy who talks third. Because that's the order we talked in. This is the OSMcast.
We talk in a different order.
Yeah, sometimes I talk before you.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Not this time.
Not this time. It was in previous times. But boy, do we love clanking this teapot.
Yeah.
Clank, clank.
That's right, because it's an OSMcast, so therefore...
We're drinking tea.
You gotta have tea. It's a podcast. If you're a podcast without tea, I don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
Probably, like, in Norway or some bullshit country.
You leave Norway alone.
It's okay. Brazil. Poor, stupid Brazil.
What's going on with Brazil?
Oh, Germany beat them in the World Cup 7-1.
Aw, that's sad.
The World Cup may be instrumental in the deposing of a president.
Aw.
Whatever, go Germany.
Well, yeah, why not? Go Germany.
And you, Kevin. You're random hating on France. I need to reveal one of your deep secrets now.
What?
That I don't think you hate France as much as you say you do.
I pretty hate France.
No, I think you seem to like French, the country.
No, the French are horrible and impolite and...
No, but there's so many things that are French that you seem to love.
Like fries.
Yeah.
You love your ass some French fries.
We were talking about French cuisine, and you're very picky, but you do in fact like the things that are heavily French influenced.
You were like,
Well, just because Joan of Arc is my favorite historical figure does not mean I like the French.
She was a French lady, though.
Just because I like movies with Jean Reno in them.
Who is a French guy?
I like French. Just because I watch the internet reviewer Benzai doesn't mean I like the French.
Kevin, I think you're in denial. I think you like the French.
Hey, not Norway. Just saying.
Damn it, Basil.
I mean,
God damn it.
If Utena didn't exist, Rosa Versailles would be probably my favorite anime, but that doesn't mean I like the French.
I think it does. I think you're just in denial about how much you love France.
So if you want to send us emails about how much Kevin loves France, please send us emails at awesomecast@gmail.com. If you're tired of all our country bullshit, send us podcasts or emails or podcasts. You can send us podcasts. That'd be cool. But send it all to podcast@chainsawbuffet.com.
Podcast parlez-vous français? Qu'est-ce que c'est quoi?
See?
Damn it!
No, I don't think C is French. Of course, you can go to our podcast website, awesomecast.com, OSMcast.com. Check out our Index of Awesome of all our other episodes, real, fake, and everything in between. You leave us comments on the various podcasts. We love reading those.
Do we have any? Do we have any comments to read?
I don't know, maybe give me a sec to check. But, meanwhile, of course, we do have Twitter, AwesomeCast, Facebook, AwesomeCast, Tumblr, AwesomeCast. Those things exist. Sometimes we even use them. It's a crazy, brave new world out there in the socials and the medias, and I don't get them, but, you know.
I don't.
Someone does. All right, so we do have one comment, It was on the Godzilla podcast
Sweet.
by Wolf.
Wolf.
This convinced me to go see it, which I plan to do sometime this week. Thanks.
Yay! We convinced someone to go see Godzilla. It was a great movie.
It was alright.
It was pretty damn good.
It's still not the movie we're going to be talking about, though.
The Edge of Tomorrow?
Edge of Tomorrow. Well, no, because you vetoed that. But
Yeah,
We did go see Edge of Tomorrow.
I'm sure that will get covered later on in possibly the Moments of Awesome. But, of course, before we get to Moments of Awesome, it is now time for Dragon Quest Minute.
There's actually Dragon Quest news?
Yes, for Japan.
Oh my god, tell me what it is. I want to hear it.
Dragon Quest X, the MMO, is now coming to 3DS.
In
Yay
Japan.
for Japan!
It is kind of interesting. Well, it's because now Dragon Quest X was a Dragon Quest MMO, originally for the Wii. Then they made an HD version for the Wii U. Then they took that HD version and put it on PC. And then they somehow put it on cell phones. And what it is, it's actually via cloud video streaming. It's much like OnLive or now PlayStation Now, which was a Gaikai, where the video footage actually is being streamed to you.
Oh.
And then you hit your buttons and commands, and it sends it to them, and they send you back what results. And that's also what the 3DS version does. Because the 3DS is in no way powerful enough to actually run an MMO.
Right.
Now, the downside is, of course, is that the graphics are not in 3D, but it also looks way better than what it would be on a 3DS normally. Because they're running the same version they're running on like Wii U and stuff. Of course, you have to be online to use it, but guess what? It's an MMO. You had to be online anyways.
Yes.
So, it's really interesting. Now, the real actual downside is that they require a separate fee on top of the subscription for the streaming service subscription. Because it is a separate thing they're doing.
Yeah.
But it's a really neat idea. I just wish it was a really neat idea that I could play in America, but as that's kind of okay since this has been your Dragon Quest Minute. It's okay. Well, yes, Kevin.
It seems like with a little effort, you could maybe get the PC version running, but you'd still be playing with a bunch of Japanese people.
In Japanese.
In Japanese.
Yeah, just learn Japanese, Basil.
Well, or I could play another MMO like Final Fantasy XIV with our Final Fantasy XIV, a Realm Reborn Minute.
Okay, so I think last time we were talking, we did not have a free company house.
No.
Yeah.
We now have a free company house.
We have a house.
Yes.
In the middle of the street. Our house.
Well, we do a chocobo stable. That's sort of cool.
But yeah, in the most recent patch that just came out, as we're recording this, they had a whole bunch of updates. They made it so that you can stable your chocobos, so that you can raise and train your chocobos a little bit more. So that's a little bit more in depth. They also added it so that you can have personalized rooms. So I immediately had the money to drop down and buy my room. So did a couple of other members in our free company.
I'm going to need to level up some more.
Yeah.
You have to be level 50, and you have to have a certain amount of rank in your in your grand company.
Mm-hmm.
Right. There are 3 nations. Each are represented by their own military or grand company. Everything's company. In most games, it'd be guilds or clans. In 14, it's companies. Because that means you can be company men and company women and company whatever. And it's awesome.
And you could buy from the company store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can call myself a company man.
We've got totally the wrong portrait hanging in the house, though.
Yes, we do. That's the one that Barry could afford to buy with his seals.
Because Barry's in the wrong company, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We might as well... Well, my goal was to have all 3 and then put them all where we have the hot tub.
I saw the hot tub.
Someone's like, no, we can't have the giant portraits of people's faces.
I don't want people watching us while we get up to shenanigans in the hot tub in the basement of our house. Like, that's just how I feel about it.
Seriously, type /shenanigans. See what happens.
Oh, Kevin.
Okay, there is no / shenanigans
Actually,
command.
I think there might be. I think
There's lots of emoticons.
there's lots of emotes.
Yeah, like there's lots of those in this game. It's actually really interesting how this game actually requires you to use many of them in actual quests.
Yeah. Come across the odd quest where you must disbelieve or beckon or do some other emotion at somebody, and it's actually part of the game. It's a little...
Several times the game requires you to dance in order to continue on that storyline.
Yep.
Because
Yes,
dancing's
it does.
important. Especially after you get level 50, and then you can learn the Manderville dance.
The most important dance.
Of all time.
Yes.
I'll take their words on it. I'm not quite to 50 yet.
But you'll get there, and then we'll be able to talk about it on our Final Fantasy XIV, Realm Reborn.
I do have one more thought. And this is something that I've been able to see now that we've been playing for a little while. Now that I'm a level 50 character, my gear is like I-85 now. I need to make an impassioned plea to all the tanks, all the people who play either a paladin or a warrior. Stop being jerks to your healers. Stop blaming your inability to hold aggro, to hold hate on a mob, on the healer failing to heal you because you let them die. Like, I'm so angry at tanks, just in general, who let me die, and then get mad at me for not healing them. I can't do it if I'm dead, and I'm a little clothy. It's not like I can really defend myself. That's why I go in the place with the tank.
Okay, once I max out Summoner, I'll go back to a tanky class.
You don't have to, Kevin.
Well, I'm the only one on the whole game who can tank right.
No, there are people in our company who can tank right, but that's about it.
Although, actually, I kind of hope... I kind of want to... when the next patch comes down and they got Rogue / Ninja, I kind of am interested to see how that plays out.
Well, perhaps my impassioned plea might need to be a little less vague. Not less vague, a little less specific and more vague. You can run into some really great people in this game. And in fact, me and Basil were talking earlier about how when you're level, like, when you're not max level, like when you're anything below max level, like you can be level 49, people are actually very nice and are very patient with you, and they'll calmly, you'll go into a place and you'll say, hey, this is my first time in here, and people will be very kind and they'll help you go through. But man, the moment you hit level 50, if you go someplace that you haven't been before, nobody cares. And everybody just expects you to know everything, and it really would, I think... It really would be a nice thing if I've particularly noticed this with people who play tanks, but if people who play tanks would not be such jackasses. It would make my gaming experience a lot better.
Minute!
In the same way the Dragon Ball Z episodes represent a minute.
Sorry, I had to bitch about tanks.
No, it's fine. But I started the bit, I had to complete the bit.
Okay.
That's the rules of the bit.
The commitment to the bit.
That's right.
Okay.
We're professionals here on the OSMcast.
Fucking hate tanks.
Except the good ones.
Except for the good ones. And you know who... Well, actually, no. The sad part is that you don't know who you are. The good ones are good, but even the sucky ones think you're good. So you're not. You're fucking terrible. Next time you're in a party with a random person, actually ask the healer, hey, was I okay or was I a dickwad?
They'll let you know.
Yeah.
And if you want to see what happens when healers go bad, play the new version of the hard mode of Tam Terra Deepcroft in Final Fantasy XIV at Realm Reborn. On sale now.
Yeah.
Sadly, you just missed the Steam sale where it was ridiculously cheap.
Don't worry, there's always more.
Yeah.
But speaking of video games, how about we just barrel straight on through our Moments of Awesome.
It's a moment of awesome.
Moments of Awesome, where we talk about things that we liked, we've enjoyed. Maybe not enough to actually do a full episode. Sometimes we eventually do full episodes, but sometimes we don't. You want to start us off, Kevin? Because I can start us off. You don't want to start us off.
Well,
I mean, Doug could also start us off as well. I mean, it's whatever. I don't care. Everything's awesome. That's a later podcast.
wolves.
Wolves.
Wolves among us. The wolf among us, specifically. I don't know if either of you are familiar with this.
No.
It's a Telltale Games multi-episode point-and-click adventure game. PC, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, all that. It is based on the DC Vertigo comic Fables, which is basically what Once Upon a Time ripped off for its entire premise. But it's a world where fairy tale beings exist amongst mortals in a modern setting in their own little town, own little community. And this game takes place actually before any of the comic continuity. It's actually back in the 80s. But it largely focusing on Big B Wolf, who is the big bad wolf, and he is the sheriff of the community of fairy tale beings. And he's basically, for purpose of the story, a film noir private eye who is trying to figure out who is killing prostitutes in Fairy Tale Town. Just so this is a game where you do get to see the Little Mermaid on a stripper pole. Just putting that out there, for better or for worse. But it's a point-and-click adventure game done in 5 parts. I bring it up because the last part just got released.
And isn't it? My brain conked out for that moment. It's based off a comic book series.
Yes, yeah, it's based off a DC Vertigo series, Fables. But it essentially boils down to the Big Bad Wolf and Snow White track down a serial killer at the game.
That sounds pretty great.
With, being done in an episodic structure where everything ends on a cliffhanger and nothing stays what you think it is, and there's lots of twists and turns, and I actually haven't finished it because I remembered I hadn't finished Part 4 when Part 5 came out. But, each part will probably give you a couple hours of gameplay. So, the whole thing together is actually a pretty decent length game. But you'll meet a wide variety of fairy tale creatures. I wish I could say if it was fairly authentic to the comic, but I'm not that familiar with it, although now I want to read it. But, you play the Big Bad Wolf, and you are the Big Bad Wolf. And you get to make Grendel cry.
So while you've been playing the Big Bad Wolf, I've been playing the Big Bad Shovel Knight. It is a video game. It is a video game on the PC, a video game on the Wii U, or a video game on the 3DS, depending how you want to buy it. It is done by a group called Yacht Club Games. They're a bunch of guys who used to work at Way Forward. They now decide to strike off and do their own thing. And it's designed in the spirit of 8-bit Nintendo games, where the graphics look... They actually use primarily in the NES color palette. They added 4 colors just to make some things look better.
Yeah.
There's a lot more parallax in the background. They pretty much thought, what if their technology had kept improving on the NES, and they could throw some more awesome chips in there to make it look even better. That's sort of what they did.
Yeah.
Modern games are in widescreen, so they made this game in widescreen. They thought lots of parallax backgrounds would look awesome, so they did lots of parallax backgrounds look awesome. But they even did things like when you have a big boss, they don't have to make the screen black, but they made the screen black anyways. Because that's how you do see all the old big Mega Man villains.
Yeah.
Of course, in Mega Man, it was because they were actually using... Part of the sprite was actually the background.
Yeah.
And the sprite you hit was the part you can interact with. But they didn't have to do that, but they decided to keep that sort of, those graphic ideas. The guy who did the music is Jake Kaufman. He goes by the name Vert. And he actually designed it using a freeware NES sound chip emulator. The entire soundtrack could be technically played on an NES. Yeah. If you put it on a cartridge. Mm-hmm. He did actually design it as if it were using the Japanese Castlevania 3 sound chip. That was only in Japanese, so it actually adds 2 or 3 more sound channels. Yeah. So it sounds extra, oomphy. But it's a lot of fun. They actually based everything sort of the down sword mechanic that was in Zelda 2.
Oh, cool.
Also, DuckTales is the primary thing, but you got 8 unique bosses, kind of like Mega Man. The world map's kind of like Mario 3, but you interact with, talk to people in the towns like Zelda 2. It's but I say all this, it's all these other things, but it's really its own game. Mm-hmm. Its own unique humor. It's really funny. The gameplay's super, super tight and super well portrayed. The levels are well designed. Does it have a lot
of personality?
Tons.
Okay.
It's got great dialogue, awesome detail. They have a fish that you can go meet who has its own fish dance. just because it's the great fish and the fish should have a fish dance, and it's like a big like screen big fish and he's moving around and other fishes with a little dance. It feels, and the fish looks like it's like straight out of Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
That sort of goofy Zelda art style that was in the old Game Boy games. Mm-hmm. It's really good.
Well, it sounds a little bit like the passion that went into Earthbound.
Yeah, that same level of passion, yeah. Oh, speaking of passion, although it's... because it was a passion project, what I've actually been playing recently, I've gone back and started playing Final Fantasy IX.
Oh, really?
Yep. I needed something to do on my Vita.
Yeah.
And I've been watching Frasier lately, but I'm like, yeah, Frasier's okay. It's not as good as I remember it.
Yeah.
But I realized I don't really remember 9. Like, I've had issues trying to play, like, Final Fantasies 4 and 6 and even 7, but I played those so often when I was younger that I play them now, and I'm like, I remember all this. I remember, and Chrono Trigger, I remember those really well. 9 I only played through once. And I'm like, well, what if I play it again? And I'm playing it again, and it holds up, and B, I don't really remember it at all. Like, I remember certain moments in it, like, I remember certain characters in it, but I don't really remember the game. And so it's kind of like, you know, you read a book and you read it once and you're like, oh, that was a good book, I should reread it one day, and you go back and you're like, oh yeah, I did really enjoy this, but I don't remember any of it, so it's sort of re-enjoying it again for the first time. Mm-hmm. Not really. That's what I'm playing. That's Final Fantasy IX.
Oh, cool.
So, you know, it's... You've got your VVs and your Steiners and Zidanes and Garnets, and they're off on their quests and stuff. I just got through the forest. I'm only in the Ice Cavern now. I'm still pretty early on in the game.
Yeah, pretty early.
But it is surprising just how well localized that game is, considering that Final Fantasy VII and Tactics were not very well localized. If you go back and replay them,
they weren't?
Tactics was barely readable. A lot of its grammar issues were really bad. So were 7's.
9 does have some translation issues, but it is better localized.
Yeah.
There are some weird translation choices in the game, but it's more internally logical.
Especially with Tactics and 7, that was actually Sony handling more of the translation duties.
Oh.
For example, Barrett doesn't really curse in the Japanese version.
Yeah, I think I knew about that.
They also would translate things wrong. Like they infer that because you have a sword in that one town with all the bullet holes, they should send you to jail.
Yeah.
In the Japanese version, that actually makes sense.
How does that make sense?
Well, no, the way they explain it makes more sense.
Oh.
Like, it's not like, oh, well, you're obviously the villain. Here, go to jail. Like, apparently there's a more actual decent reason for that happening. So, that's the reason thing I think if I ever play Final Fantasy VII again, I won't play it until they put a new translation forth. Because they obviously were trying to make things edgier and weren't quite getting things right. Because that was still... Because, again, it was mostly Sony that was trying to do it, not Square. It was more of a team effort, but the translation was more on the Sony side.
Oh.
And so I think if they retranslate it now, it'd probably sound way better than it did then.
Maybe all those plot holes you were always complaining about with me might close up.
They might, but I won't know until they fix it. They might. Or they might stick around. I don't know until they do it. But I'm willing to give it a shot at this point.
Good.
But yeah, I'm really enjoying 9. And I forgot just how interesting all the Mog stuff was. It's got the Mognet, where you send letters to the Moogles, and other people send you letters through the Moogles.
I don't remember that.
It's there.
Yeah, it's there. It's a thing.
And there's just a lot of personality to the game I had just forgotten all about.
Huh.
I'm playing on my Vita, giving it an excuse to use that thing.
Yeah.
Looks really good on it.
My only complaint about 9 is it has like the most. It's the trance thing is just stupid the way it's implemented. But yeah, it's a minor complaint. The game is extremely playable, even with that one. It'll always kick in at the most unhelpful time.
The plus side is because it's on flash memory. The battles start a little bit quicker. Like you don't have they don't have to load the CD to load the battles. So that helps a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So things move a little bit faster than I'm used to. It's really good. So yeah, Final Fantasy IX. I now re-recommend it. So what you got there, Doug?
Okay. My moment of awesome is about a garment of clothing that I have acquired, which I refer to as my mosquito jacket. Now,
Is it made from mosquitoes?
no, it is not made from mosquitoes. I've actually had many people look at me and ask that as I've been telling about how awesome my mosquito jacket is. The company that makes it is actually called, I don't know how to say that. I'm going to take a stab at and guess it's Exoficio?
Exoficio?
Exoficio! Okay, that's my guess.
I'm going with that.
Anyhow, what they call it is the insect shield repellent apparel, and that's what it does. It's basically white mesh that has been sewn into a jacket. Most of the jacket is, of course, polyester, but they've also used material from the plant that gives us pyrethranes. I know what that plant is, and I'm blanking on it right now. But the plant that gives us pyrethrin, they've also used that to make some of the netting, so that it's just a little bit more insect repellent, but it's in a solid form, so it's not hazardous to your cat unless your cat, eats your clothing, which my cats don't do.
Okay.
But it's very effective at keeping mosquitoes away. Since I bought it and I've been wearing it on my hikes and walks, I've gotten a lot less ticks and mosquitoes, even on the parts that the jacket isn't covering up. So it really is working. And because it's made of mesh, I can put it over a tank top, and it's cool and breezy. Even though it looks like I'm wearing a coat, I'm not wearing a coat because, the air is moving through. And I've actually noticed that it feels a little bit cooler inside, possibly because of some sun protection. I don't know about that, though. But I love my mosquito jacket. It is great. And everybody who's into walking or hiking should probably look into getting one.
Especially if you live in the South.
Yes. The buggy South.
Well, it kind of sucks. I need to go walking more, but I keep going ugh. But it's hot and there's bugs out.
Yes.
And boy, is that a killer for wanting to go.
Mosquito jackets are the way to go, and mine smells really terrible right now, so I'm going to put it back in my bedroom in the dirty laundry to wash instead of continuing to wail it about in front of Kevin and Basil where it smells really bad.
Okay, I have almost no sense of smell. It's sometimes a disadvantage, but only sometimes.
And unlike this time, but... So we started talking about it, then we decided not to talk about it as the topic of our conversation tonight, or today, whenever you're listening. But I guess we should talk a little bit about Edge of Tomorrow.
That was totally a movie.
It was a movie starring Tom Cruise. It wasn't not bad. I was expecting to be way worse.
I only had to veto it because as we were leaving, we were talking, you guys were bringing up the different points that you saw about the movie, and I realized that I was sitting there going, no, but I thought it was good, I liked it. And so you guys were talking and you're going, and, Doug will be the advocate for this movie. Except, in thinking about it, I really couldn't advocate this movie as awesome. I can advocate it as a good movie. It's definitely my favorite Tom Cruise movie that I think I've ever seen. I just don't happen to like Tom Cruise movies. He just consistently hasn't made movies that I have liked, but...
On its own merits, it was a pretty good movie. It is, however, based on a Japanese novel called All You Need Is Kill. And especially in the third act of the film, it completely abandons any association with the novel. So, yeah, if we were doing a full OSMcast, I'd probably spend a lot of it nitpicking it as in comparison to the novel. But the movie was pretty solid.
If you want to watch Tom Cruise die a lot, this is the movie for you. In fact, I would say, if you don't like Tom Cruise...
This is the best Tom Cruise movie.
You'll ever see.
It was really great. I didn't think it was... I'm actually just kind of... I don't think this is spoiling too much because the title of the thing is called Edge of Tomorrow, but I'm kind of just a fan of interesting time travel mechanics, and that's what it had. It had an interesting time travel mechanics, and I haven't read the Japanese book, so I thought it was a very pleasant movie to sit and watch. And I liked it. I was entertained.
It was based on a movie. Again, All You Need Is Kill by Hiroshi Sakurazaka. And the book's really good. It is actually, Viz actually released it. You can buy it, I'm pretty sure, in ebook or paperback. And it's a fun read. It's a really interesting read.
Yeah. No, that's a really good book. Like some of how the time travel mechanics work is a little bit different in the novel. The rationalization of how things go. Honestly, the movie has a happier ending, but that's a...
One thing that always bothered me in the movie was they never really explained how they knew that the power left them. They just said that it did. I didn't like...
Now, to be fair, in the novel, it was something that seemed to happen independently, and he just kind of got tapped into their network, basically, and when... In the novel, it involved some technobabble about tachyons. And it's not so much they were literally repeating the day as the memories were being sent backwards in time to themselves. So effectively, he had the memories of having already done it. And from his point of view, he was resetting each day. But in reality, it was just the information was being sent backwards in time to his brain.
Oh. Okay.
But he perceived it in a linear format. Mm-hmm. Like he would redo it, it would go back, he'd redo it. So like the aliens only ever gave any ground in the war in the novel when it was like mathematically impossible for them to win, which almost never happened.
So okay, the gist of the book or the premise is you've got a guy who's not very good at fighting. He's stuck in this war against these aliens, and the aliens are trouncing humanity. He dies in battle, then he comes back where he woke up the previous day. And every time he dies, he goes back to that same point. And how does he deal with that? Boom. Gist of book, and that's the premise.
That works as an explanation for both the book and the movie.
Yeah.
How they get there is a little bit different in both, but either way, I would recommend the book over the movie. But if you want a smarter than average summer blockbuster.
Well, if you're already contemplating going to see this movie, definitely go see it. It was a good movie.
There's a lot worse movies out there.
Like this,
lot worse sci-fi and action movies out there.
Also, it's probably going to be out of theaters really soon, possibly already by the time you listen to this. So,
yeah.
well.
Check it out on video. Or if any of your local streaming services get it, because honestly it didn't do so hot, they'll probably snatch it up.
It'll probably go on Netflix really soon. Much like the next movie we're actually talking about as our actual topic, The Great Muppet Caper.
What a fantastic beginning! Wow!
There'll be spectacle, there'll be fantasy, there'll be daring do and stuff like you would never see.
Be a movie! Yeah, we're gonna be a movie!
Starring everybody
And me. There'll be heroes bold, there'll be comedy, and a lot of fuss that ends for us real happily. Be a movie! We can watch it all develop. Starring everybody! And me. We'll take the world and set it on its ear. Come on, join in! We're gonna start right here! It's okay, I landed on my head. Oh, come here, chicken. Yoo-hoo.
So, there's been sort of a revival as of late with Muppet movies.
Yes, there has.
For a while, there were no Muppet movies, and now there are Muppet movies.
I think it's definitely a happier time when there are Muppet movies about.
Yeah, no. I totally agree. And the past two Muppet movies have been good.
Yes, I really enjoyed them.
And so I decided at some point, because I need to watch something while I let my sleeping machine do its... Once I clean it, I gotta let it dry. Mm-hmm. And so I noticed on Netflix that, oh, hey, Muppet movies. The original Muppet movies are on Netflix. So I decided to start watching the first three, which is the Muppet movie, The Great Muppet Caper, and Muppets Take Manhattan.
Yep.
Because in my brain growing up, they were sort of this trilogy. for some reason, I decided that this was a trilogy, even though they're really not. There are 3 completely different movies. And even thematically, only the first 2 movies have stuff in common. The third one really doesn't.
Yeah.
But growing up, I always thought the first 3 were a trilogy. Because I was a kid, and kids can be stupid sometimes. I decided to go back, and I first started back watching The Great Muppet Caper, because I remember it being my favorite. But I couldn't remember why. And so I went back and watched it. Re-fell in love with it all over again, much like Final Fantasy IX. Well, I don't really remember anything about it, just remember that I liked it.
Yeah.
And so now I like it for completely different reasons. But that's okay. It's still an awesome, amazing movie. And when Doug was like, none of us really think Edge of Tomorrow was awesome.
I thought it was good. I liked it.
But not awesome.
Yeah, just not quite awesome. Like, I would not feel genuine having said that movie was awesome.
And I was like, that's fine. There's been a movie I've been wanting us to watch and talk about for several weeks now, and that was, in fact, The Great Muppet Caper.
So, that's what we're talking about.
It's awesome. Watch it. Thank you.
It is
for
awesome.
a podcast. Okay.
It's up on Netflix right now.
Yep.
So if you haven't seen it in a long time, or maybe you have, like Basil and myself, and I assume Kevin, have very fuzzy memories of it, but you don't really remember it, definitely go back and rewatch it now. Or if you have kids and they've never seen it before, show it to them. One of the things that, as we were rewatching it, I only recognized one of the cameo appearances. I recognized John Cleese. Mm-hmm. But it didn't matter. It didn't matter that I couldn't recognize who these people were anymore, because the story and the jokes were all good enough on its own that I didn't lose anything by me not recognizing the cameos.
And this movie had some seriously bizarre things happen, just seemingly at random, that I didn't remember. I didn't remember at all. It also has some rather good puppetry. I mean, okay, it's the Muppets. It's always good puppetry, but there's some, like, the bicycle scene. I swear they were just showing off. There were other scenes like that, too, but I don't know how they did the bicycle scene.
Yeah, like, I've seen all sorts of behind the scenes with Jim Henson Studios, all kinds of things like that. I'm a big Jim Henson fan, and I've studied, well, what did he do, and I really love his stuff, but I still have no idea how they did the bicycle scene. I have some ideas, but no one idea really seems to explain it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm wondering, well, maybe it's like they got like a green screen or something, and there's somebody behind it working the... No, then they start doing little loops where you can see they're turning around in a circle. No, they're clearly outside.
Like, I'm actually thinking more like, more things along the lines of they had maybe the bikes weren't really on the ground. Perhaps they just had a little motor in the bottom of the legs, causing them to continue that cycling rotation, and then the rest of it was just suspended by wires that you couldn't see.
But this is pre-CG special effects, kids, and it's surprisingly easy to lose yourself in the delusion that Muppets walk among us.
Yeah, totally. You can actually even buy it on Blu-ray now. It actually comes as a combo pack with Muppet Treasure Island, like as a dual pack. I see it on $20 on Amazon.
Muppet Treasure Island is also a good one. Kermit the Frog sword fights Tim Curry. So
Oh, that just sounds good.
Just a little teaser there. And it's also the other musical as Tim Curry, besides Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Well, one of the things that, as we were watching this movie, we slowly started to realize is you could basically recast any movie with the Muppets, and it would be good. Like, you guys were pitching this idea for
Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, for Edge of Tomorrow, recast as Muppets.
Just obviously, Kermit would be the raw recruit or corrupt recruiter. Mm-hmm. Miss Piggy would be the girl who is the badass, and Beaker and Bunsen Honeydew would be the scientist, collectively. Statler and Waldorf would be the general. The Squatties would be various Muppets, and you'd still have
plenty of room to throw in random human cameos.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like the guy who was the drill instructor, who I said his name earlier and it went out of my head now.
And the guy who always recognizes Miss Piggy.
Yeah.
And the speaking of all the Muppets, and of course the Muppets are great. The Muppets are, of course, in the movie because it's a Muppets movie. I was surprised just how much the new Muppet movies really follow in the very same ideas, or possibly even ideals, that the first two Muppet movies did in cinema, which was the Muppet movie and Great Muppet Caper. For example, both the new movies and the first two movies are cognizant of the fact that they're movies.
Yes.
They both understand that, oh, by the way, we are the Muppets, we're acting this movie, and here's the movie that we're acting in.
Yeah, like, I kind of am amused at the beginning of the film, they actually are commenting on the opening credits.
Yeah,
Fonzie... Fonzie's nervous, they're up in a hot air balloon, and Kermit's like, oh, don't worry, it's just the opening credits, nothing's going to happen to us.
And Gonzo just keeps speculating on
how well he could plummet. Remember, Gonzo, his big thing, many times, is he's a stuntman.
Oh, yeah.
He does all the crazy stunts and wants to do outrageous things. Like, that's just Gonzo's.
Well...
Because he's Gonzo, and he's kind of out there.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I'm a little bit out there myself, and I have quite a non-sequitur sense of humor. Like, I find nothing more funny than just, like, complete absurdist jokes. And I'm reminded watching this movie more than any of the... I'm reminded watching this movie more than any of the previous Muppet movies that have come out recently, how much I loved Gonzo when I was a kid, just because he had that such absurdist sense of humor, and I just loved it. Like when he wanted to put his nose back in the...
In the elevator?
Yeah, back in the elevator. Oh my gosh, like, and I remember, like, the way he hailed a cab, I remember doing that as a kid, and completely terrifying my mother, but I still did it.
So that's one against showing your kids this movie.
Well...
So, and the movie is very straight up about the movie's about, because they tell you, like, in the opening song, after the opening credits, they have this big downtown, obviously not a set, but in downtown New York, musical extravaganza saying, hey, this is a movie starring people.
Yeah, and Kermit and Fonzie stop and tell you how... Fozzie the Bear, not Fonzie.
No,
okay.
Hey.
Hey. Why did they never cross over? Probably for confusion reasons. But Fozzie Bear and Kermit are like, okay, in this movie, we're twin brothers who are investigative reporters. And yes, they are twin brothers. Fozzie the Bear and Kermit the Frog are identical twin brothers in this movie.
Look, honey, it's a bear! No, dear, that's a frog. Bears wear hats.
Although the one picture of Kermit and Fozzie's father, that's pure nightmare fuel.
Yes.
So the basics of the film are, like what happens is that Kermit, Fozzie, and Gonzo, because Gonzo's their photographer.
Yeah, he's their cameraman.
Yeah, he's taking his pictures with his old flash, light bulb camera, because this was filmed in 1981, and you could tell by the computers, which are all blinking lights, and...
Pretty sure that camera was ridiculously out of date even for the setting.
Yeah, probably was. And they're investigating reporters, and it turns out there was jewel heists, and the next jewel heist is probably in England. So they go to England, and they actually went to England. Like they all filmed everything on location in Great Britain.
Yeah, the rich chick is Diana Rigg, for a Game of Thrones fan, looking a bit younger and hotter than Game of Thrones, right? Most recently, but
and they're having to solve this rash of jewel thieves, and that's why you have a Great Muppet Caper, because the caper is the eventual stealing of the baseball diamond, complete on its baseball glove platter.
Yes.
Of course, things get confused when Miss Piggy enters the story and trying to be a model for the lady with the diamonds, and except she gets mistaken for the lady by Kermit because she's in her office when Kermit walks in, and there's a little mistaken identity. And there's a ritzy restaurant, a big dance number.
I really liked the big synchronized swimming number, because it really was just like you said. Fuck you, it's Miss Piggy. Synchronized swimming.
And I just love that everyone just falls in love with Miss Piggy as soon as she comes down the runway. Like, everyone just loses their shit and starts taking pictures, and they're just like, oh my god.
Well, one of the best things of a good Muppet movie, and Jim Henson really got it. Mm-hmm. He really, really got it,
Well, of course he got it.
Well, I mean, yeah, well, yes, but because this was his movie, this was because he was involved in a lot of the earlier ones.
Yeah.
This was the only movie that he directed himself.
Oh, okay.
And it's really cognizant, and especially this movie, especially compared to in the first three. The first one sort of gets it. The third one really doesn't get it. But the second one really gets to this whole idea that they acknowledge that these Muppets are all Muppets and they're all animals. They acknowledge it, and then they don't care.
Yes.
Like, they acknowledge that Kermit's a frog, and Fozzie Bear's a bear, and that Miss Piggy is a pig. But then
And that Gonzo's something.
And he's whatever. And then they move on, and then no one cares. Like, it's a wonderfully inclusive world. Mm-hmm. Where everyone, in their own weird, stupid ways, accept it.
Which reminds me of the scene with the British couple.
Who are incredibly accepting of everything.
John Cleese.
That was the British couple does have John Cleese in it, which is the cameo that I did recognize, and it's just a wonderful portrayal of a British couple. Not how British people actually are at all, but a wonderful portrayal nonetheless.
It's like a pig crawling up a wall.
Yeah, it happens.
They just take everything so calmly and stoically. I mean, to the point when
Stiff upper lip, son.
Yeah.
Stiff upper lip.
to the point where, upon catching Miss Piggy and Kermit in their house with no real explanation for why they should be there, and he just asks, "Can I help you with anything?" And then he just asks, "Yeah, do you know any good restaurants?" He gives them a recommendation, and then they just leave, and everyone's cool with it.
Well, I mean, no harm, no foul.
And leave it to Muppet movies to give me musical numbers that I actually enjoy pretty well. Mm-hmm. Like, I usually go, I hate musicals. Musicals are stupid musicals. Why can't things be opera? Then I'll watch a Muppet movie and then like all the songs. I don't know. It's something about Muppets that makes everything go down better.
Yeah, Muppets are great.
You know, I mean, because the movie starts with one, hey, it's a movie starring everybody, and
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen this movie in HD before, which, seeing this movie in HD, it really did add something that I never knew I was missing, and that is actually seeing the texture of all the different Muppets. Mm-hmm. Like, I could really pick out, like, the different fuzz of the felt on them versus, like, the hair, like the wig Miss Piggy was wearing.
The gloriously flowing wig.
Yeah, the glorious... Well, I mean, the wig Miss Piggy's wearing,
Yes.
or the fur that Fonzie and Ralph have, you know.
Yeah, it's all... There's a lot of detail in there, what the various materials the puppets were made out of.
Yeah, like the texture of the tongue and the mouths is actually different, surprisingly.
like those things are meticulously constructed with a lot of love and care, and a lot of love and care obviously went in this movie.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, with lots of really neat staging, and again, like Ken mentioned earlier, the bike scene.
Yeah.
Where suddenly they have all the Muppets just riding bikes in a park.
Like, you can see all of the Muppet on all of the bike with little legs going. And
It is a little
don't
weird
know.
to see legs on the Muppets, but not because the legs actually looked weird, just because you're so used to seeing the Muppets from waist up that when you actually see them with legs, it's like, oh yeah, they should have a lower half of the body, shouldn't they?
Like, anytime you see that part, most of the time it's obvious how they're manipulating them anyways.
Yeah.
But, like, the bike scene, I don't know. It's before computers.
And, well, it's one of the things about the movie is that they really can just do whatever. Because in this, it is just a movie. This could have been any other movie. This could have been like Ocean's 11 if they really wanted it to be. Only it's not, because it's a Muppet movie, and you even see them walking around. I mean, there's another musical number with Kermit getting dressed up for a date.
Yeah.
And you see him walking around, putting on clothes.
Yeah, there was a lot of scenes that are puppeteers showing off. Like, this is like, we got a movie, we're going to show off.
And show off they did to great effect. They were truly amazing.
And I also do like, once you realize all the little details that you now see that you may not notice the first time, like all the street signs. Mm-hmm. Like, Cheap Street, and like,
Yeah, it was real fun to read the signs, actually.
And when they get to Mallory Manor, you
Don't
will
climb over this.
You'll be ripped apart. just random things here and there. It's all, like, if you look for it, there's just little jokes in every little crevice of the movie.
Like, the sign on the guy's door that actually said, you know, it had the lady's office door, and then it had her brother's office door, and below it said, like, worthless
parasite or something like that.
Yeah, useless parasite. And he is.
Oh, yeah, frickin' what's his face?
Charles Grodin.
Yeah, Charles Grodin.
Yeah.
Who is
the villain of the film?
I mean, he
Kinda,
was...
sorta.
He was, back in the early 80s, he was the total hot throb guy. Like, you know, the sort of, I guess, the Leonardo DiCaprio, or...
He's the guy who I didn't recognize at all.
He's maybe more of a Billy Zane at the height of Billy Zane's career.
Was he the guy that we saw in the very beginning that I thought might be Tom Baker? Yeah. I had a moment where I wondered if he was Tom Baker.
Well, the movie did have a sonic screwdriver, so it's a fair...
A sonic lockpick.
It's totally a sonic screwdriver.
A sonic screwdriver.
I forgive the movie. It was set in England. Those things just turn up.
Which tells you something that, you know...
That perhaps they were at least aware of it, even if they didn't cast anybody from it.
Oh, wait. John Cleese is in an episode of Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember which Doctor, third or fourth. But
I think that was third, actually.
He's just there for a minute in one episode and makes comment on the TARDIS thinking it's modern art, and then everyone runs into it and the TARDIS vanishes. It's kind of amusing. I just can't quite picture which Doctor it was at the time.
Although my actual favorite cameo in the film was actually done by Peter Falk, who was Columbo in the old TV series. Which I'm like, that's Columbo!
It was also the grandfather in Princess Bride, but yeah, he was kind of more doing Columbo in this movie.
Where he's like, glass slipper, huh? Let me tell you about this glass slipper.
He tells the most bizarre story.
This weirdly specific story.
Specific about his speculating that his Kermit had like a brother-in-law named Bernie or something, and that they had a laundromat. Except there was another laundromat down the street. And
there's trials and tribulations, and people start going away.
It's a pretty impressive story.
And Kermit's just nodding along. He lets him go through the whole story, and it's like, wow, that's completely wrong.
And then goes, can you go now? We're kind of doing a movie.
Implying that just Peter Falk just wandered on set one day. You know, no real explanation.
Just to talk to Kermit, you know.
I mean, I would, but, you know, so...
There are several great scenes where they completely just... You would say it's breaking the fourth wall, except that somehow it still feels like they're in character anyways.
Well, you know, Charles Grodin, as the villain, sort of, he also kind of has this love triangle with Kermit and Miss Piggy, where he is also vying for Miss Piggy's affection.
That's only in his head.
It's only in his head, but I believe he is into Miss Piggy. I genuinely believe it.
That's what an amazing actor he was.
And I like that, you know, there's like the part in the park where Miss Piggy and Kermit are having their little romantic spat, and it actually like breaks down in them breaking fourth wall, and like it's like, I mean, it's part of the story, but they go out of character.
They're still really fighting about him being jealous.
They go out of character for a minute and, you know, start talking about the movie. And then he really hurts her feelings, and then but then they go back into character, and it's all good. I don't know. That's weird. That is weird and non sequitur, but it works so well.
I still just love the opening credits, where it's just in a hot air balloon. Like, why are we here? That's opening credits. Where are the opening credits? Great Muppet Caper. Oh, there they are. That's a great title.
Good title, yeah.
Like, are the credits the credits over? Almost. And like, as Jim Henson's name pops up, does anybody actually read any of these things? Nobody ever reads any of these things. Oh, somebody reads it. They have families.
God, it's so witty at times.
Kermit has almost a kind of a cutting sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like, and I never got that as a kid, because
he's the guy who kind of seems like he should be the straight man, but he really is making fun of the situation.
Surprisingly, Fozzie actually struck me as the straight man.
Yeah, this movie more so.
Yeah, because he's sort of just, you know, there, and the fact that when they do the whole twins thing, you know, it's in the newspaper. Like, you show the newspaper, it's like, you know, twins join the newspaper, and they're like, why is this? Everyone's got this jewel heist, and you've got the fact that you're twins. And they start disbelieving it until they go down to put on the hat, Fozzie. And he's like, yeah. And as soon as he agrees with it, it's set in stone. The movie now completely follows through with it.
Other people, completely in a separate place in the world, recognize them as twins now.
It is now, for henceforth till the movie's over, they are twins. You also sort of notice it with Miss Piggy, where at first they're like, why would you be a model and this and that? But as soon as someone starts believing in it, bam, there it goes. She is now the ultimate hottie, Miss Piggy. You don't mess with her. You know, where suddenly they're in a restaurant and then they go into a dance number that's all about her. Also, yes. I feel one of the better love songs in most anything, because the love song's point is it's not love at first sight, but when the true love thing happens, you'll notice it.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was a great little comment.
Yep.
Where it
doesn't have to be love at first sight to be true love, because when that moment happens,
you'll know.
Yeah.
Which is really funny, because for Grodin's character, Parasite guy, it was at first sight. Where he's suddenly like, Miss Piggy.
I strangely buy it. I don't know. It's weird. The guy believed it. He sold me. He sold me on his love for Miss Piggy.
And admittedly, we're kind of being spoily with this review, but
it was made in 1981.
There's a good chance that you've all seen it when you were kids and you've forgotten all about it, and we're really here to tell you.
It was awesome.
Go back
it really
and watch
was.
it.
It wasn't something that was just awesome because because it's rose-colored in your mind through the spectacles of nostalgia. This is something that was actually awesome. And it really was awesome. So much that came out of the Jim Henson studio truly was awesome that I think all of it kind of needs to be remembered at some point, and people need to go back and look at it because it was really amazing stuff.
Watch your Muppet movies, kids, and The Dark Crystal, and Labyrinth, and maybe Mirror Mask. I never saw that. Was that any good?
It was good, but it was way more artsy.
Yeah.
It was way more artsy. Like, if artsy films aren't your thing, don't bother. But if they are your thing, yes. Yes, Mirror Mask was so good, if that's your thing.
I still heartily recommend Dark Crystal and/or Labyrinth. But
I actually had the discovery recently that Dark Crystal is actually somewhat hard to follow. I had this experience by trying to show the Dark Crystal to my 3-year-old niece. She's actually still 2, but she's about to be 3 in like a month. And I don't know if she was just playing the Y game with me or if she seriously could not follow the movie that much. But even my sister, who was watching it with us, said, yeah, this movie is kind of hard to follow. I don't remember it being this hard.
There's also a rare kind of director's cut work print that was never really made into the real film that's a little more esoteric. But
well, it may just be that 3 is too young for that movie.
It's got some weird metaphysicalness to it.
But it's still
also some scary-ass puppets, as puppets go. There's some scary-ass puppets in that movie.
Barry was actually watching it for the first time with us, too, and he was just watching it, and afterwards he put down his drink and he said, well, I know where Doug got his bird phobia.
But you're not going to get a weird bird phobia from this film.
You might get a weird chicken philia, especially if you like Gonzo too much. But and don't follow Gonzo's examples, kids.
Gonzo is the best photographer ever.
Got his knee study.
Like, that's what he's telling
he
us.
would just take pictures of everything.
Yeah.
Like, he was just there like, hey, picture. Ah, gotcha, picture. Isn't that awesome? Or, like, he'll see, like, a bird, or he'll just think this pipe looks pretty great, or,
Now, what was his instructions for how to be a good photographer? Just take pictures, make sure you have film, take pictures of everything, and be sure to yell, ah, before they eat their food.
Yeah.
I like where he tried to sell Jim Henson a picture of himself. Yeah. That was funny.
Yeah.
And, when Fozzie goes, but I think I got my arms, like, I'll add human interest. But I'm a bear. It's like, There's these little quips. Like I love the transitional quips they would have with each other while they're moved from scene to scene, as they have the this nice panning vista of Great Britain and London and stuff, because they were on location.
Yeah.
Of course, you're gonna do all these sweeping shots. Mm-hmm. And the band and the Happiness Hotel. That was so lovingly ran down and decrepit.
So lovingly.
Like,
so tenderly, lovingly. Like, that takes a special level of care in and of itself.
They had fun building those sets.
Yes.
With the stupid light bulbs.
And every single Muppet living there, inexplicably.
Well, you gotta get the Muppets in there somehow.
Even Sam the Eagle, who proudly proclaims his Americanness.
Well, I kind of got the feeling that it was sort of like a hostel.
Yeah, probably.
It reminded me of a
Well,
hostel.
especially since most of, a good chunk of those Muppets are in the band, and they definitely have that kind of dirty hippie quality to them. Mm-hmm. So it works, hostel, that works, That's okay. I like the dirty hippie Muppet band, and Animal, and Janice, and Dr. Teeth, and I don't remember what their band is actually called anymore, but they had a name. I like those guys.
It's a good movie. I heartily encourage everyone to watch it.
Yes, I agree. Everybody should go rewatch this movie. And they should do a bunch of other Jim Henson works, but right now I'm pushing this one.
It's on Netflix, easy to find.
In fact, before we recorded, Kevin was a little apprehensive. He's like, "Wait, we're doing what?" But you don't hear him going anymore, do you?
Yeah,
now because I made the noise and now you follow the noise.
I can kind of understand because we were prepared to talk about.
We had planned. We were going to talk about Edge of Tomorrow, and it's like Muppet movies. I was ready to go with one thing, and it was like, fine, okay, we'll watch the damn Muppet movie.
But you do have to agree with me. The Muppet movie is way more awesome than The Edge of Tomorrow. Which The Edge of Tomorrow is still good. I keep saying, saying it's not awesome, and that's true, but it's still good.
Well, Miss Piggy does rip the steel bars out, bend steel bars in her prison, and throw Peter Ustinov out of a truck and steal an awesome motorcycle, which is pretty damn good action in its own way.
Has a little cop car chase.
Yeah, most of the action came from Miss Piggy.
Yeah, well, Miss Piggy's a badass. Yeah, that's just a long-established fact. Oh, Miss Piggy. How many furries did you make? I really wonder.
I mean, she's a hottie. I mean, everyone loves Miss Piggy.
Everyone loves Miss Piggy.
That's why you can tell it's a movie, because suddenly, and you can sort of see in your brain, in the behind the scenes, where she's like, all right, now, this is going to be all about me. Better be amazing.
You can. You can actually, even though that never actually happens in the movie, if you've seen enough Muppet stuff, there were scenes where you could kind of think to yourself that happened.
You definitely tell it's a Muppet movie, because obviously the Muppets were like, now we got to do this.
Yeah.
Well, even
and then it would happen.
The Muppet Show was kind of built around the premise that was like a sketch comedy show a la Saturday Night Live, but you were also seeing the behind the scenes stuff as they ran around behind the sets.
Yeah.
And it's like they were real people putting on a show. Mm-hmm. And that was I think the movie, at least the first two movies, kind of continue that trend. They're obviously just being actors in a movie. Those real behind the scenes, real air quotes behind the scenes version of themselves still exist, and that's...
Yeah, sadly the third movie it's just a movie that happens to have Muppets in it. They don't do the whole fourth wall stuff with it. Mm-hmm. It just is a movie that's starring the Muppets.
Yeah, at least even I can't remember if it ever happened in Muppet Treasure Island, but Muppet Christmas Carol, you get Gonzo and Rizzo at least talking to the audience a bit. And I don't know, and Muppets in Space kind of sucked. If there's a bad Muppet movie, that's it. But
yeah, so the Great Muppet Caper, it'll steal your heart.
Yep. Especially
if your heart's the size of a baseball.
And made of diamond.
God, when the baseball diamond catch turned into an actual baseball game. It turns into this weird free-for-all where they're trying to fight against the thieves, and they're tossing around, and next thing you know, someone pulls out a giant fish as a bat. There's a sports announcer, and then you realize, wait, they're about to play ball.
Yep.
They're about to turn it into baseball.
I like Beaker's preparing to pitch with his weird little head bob action, and Beaker's just weird and awesome. So that's all the Muppets are just weird and awesome. But
So we'll take a break and we'll come back with our favorite Muppet moments from this film. We'll be right back.
Pretty day, sunny sky, lovely pictures dance in your eye.
It all seems so right.
It all feels so rare.
Summer soft, sudden breeze. Watch the wind play tag in the trees. The world is
So, Kevin, what is your favorite Muppet moment?
Well, my favorite Muppet moment was when Kermit realized he had gotten the time travel power from the alien blood, and he kept resetting back to the beginning, and there was just this montage of Kermit deaths. Wait, no, that's Edge of Tomorrow. That was Tom Cruise. That just needed a yakety sax montage. But I think my favorite Muppet moment, I don't know. I do kind of like the. It's all so good. I don't know. It's all so good. It's bicycles. That was just having me scratching my head on the technical achievement. Like, I don't know how they did that. That movie probably deserved an Oscar for special effects.
Doug.
My favorite moment was when they were escaping the battlefield, and he kept saying, I've never done this before, but then he kept knowing the next step. I know that was supposed to be representative of, and they kept going, and this was, they kept going, showing you, well, then this is the time they succeeded, and rather than showing you all the times that he failed, they just kept going with the times that he succeeded as if it was a continuous stream, but they were showing you the continuing versions of the first time that he had done something. Oh, wait, that was Edge of Tomorrow again, wasn't it?
I know Kermit the Frog and Tom Cruise are really easy to mix up, but one of those...
You're okay.
One of them's a demented puppet, and the other's Kermit the Frog.
Then, my favorite Muppet moment was probably when Kermit was sitting in the park, and he had the Columbo moment with the wrong story, and he was just calmly listening to the human talk.
Darn, that was my favorite moment.
Think of another one, quick. There were so many.
Fine. The one where he finally realizes that it's either Kermit or Piggy. And wait, no, that's not even in the movie anymore.
Yes.
Even just the very first moment when they're in the balloon talking about the credits, where suddenly Fox's like, "What's that mean?" I don't know. And they start right in on it. Suddenly they drop down, and there's this big musical number, and they explain things. Suddenly they're in costumes, and they're doing stuff. And I don't know. Let's go with the airplane.
Okay.
Where they're all in their various boxes because they're luggage.
Yes.
They're pet animals, and you got your bear, your frog, and then your whatever, and somehow Gonzo's smuggling the TV.
They just toss them out. Like a guy randomly comes down, opens the door, which is so impossible, and just starts chucking them out over Great Britain for no adequately explained reason.
That flight plan doesn't even make sense. Why would they fly over England if they were going to Italy? Ah.
I guess so they can drop off Muppets, because that was the only thing they tossed out of the plane.
That, or possibly the scene where they suddenly go into the water dance musical number.
Yeah, that was good.
Where literally I was watching Kevin and Doug going, wait, what? Wait. What?
Because fuck you, Mrs. Piggy.
Yeah, that's right.
Not fuck you, Mrs. Piggy. Fuck you, comma, because it's Mrs. Piggy.
And what was the best part was earlier, and Kevin's like, yeah, that's the sexiest role that Frank Oz has ever had. And then we get into the water thing, where it's like the big swimsuit stuff, where it's swimsuit, dancers and Miss Piggy in a swimsuit, dancing in the water, having this really big, dance, and they're on those outfits that you only really saw in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like, it's very similar. You had a dance number you had like Temple of Doom, the Indiana Jones film. And those particular almost cabaret dancers style.
The big flowing hair under the water, and I like kind of when it snaps back to reality, it's way less glamorous, kind of plastered to her head.
Well, I know that, like, occasionally they actually did just, like, have a woman in a pig suit for Mrs. Piggy. Like, there were a couple of scenes where you could pick that out, and I kept in that swim scene trying to figure out if that's what they had done, and I don't think it was. Like,
I think the motorcycle was. I don't know about... It's like one of those things we kind of had to look at the scale and go,
Yeah,
but,
you had to be nitpicky on a level way more than
but there's also,
you should be if you're enjoying a movie.
There are also ways to fool our perspective, so I don't know. There are ways to make us think things are bigger or smaller than they really are, so that's...
And they were really good at that.
Yeah.
Even if they built a giant animal thing for the first movie just because they could.
They did in the first movie build a giant animal head. It was not miniatures. It was not a perspective trick. They built a giant animal head in the first movie.
The first movie is still really good. I think it feels more like a proof of concept.
Yeah.
Than the second one does.
Yeah.
The second one is one of the ones I really feel it's a complete Muppet movie.
Yes.
Whereas the first one really feels like, well, we have Muppets, we're doing a movie. How do we do this now?
Yeah, can we do a whole movie with Muppets? Oh, look at that. Yes, we can.
Now let's tell an actual story that happens to be with the Muppets. Mm-hmm. So I really recommend the first one, too. But again, this is the Great Muppet Caper. It's great. It's awesome. How many awesomes out of awesomes do you want to give it, Kevin?
4 slightly incompetent jewel thieves out of awesome. I don't know.
Yes, Doug?
I want to give it a labyrinth of awesomes.
All right. Wrong Jim Henson property, but we'll take it.
Ask, is David Bowie a Muppet? He might be.
Maybe.
I mean, it's quite possible.
He is the Goblin King, after all.
It's true. I'm going to give it one fantastic baseball diamond of awesome.
Shiny.
I really, again, I absolutely just adore everything about this film. I'm really curious if they do a third Muppet movie, how they handle it. Because the first Muppet movie was, the Muppet movie was about the formation of the Muppets as a group.
Yes.
How did Kermit meet everybody? And similarly, the Muppets, the second Muppet movie, of the first Muppet movie of the modern era, as it were,
yes,
was getting the gang back together. And the Great Muppet Caper was about a caper, eventually. And you had sort of that heist vibe with the latest Muppet movie.
Yeah. A little bit more spy action-oriented, but same basic premise, yeah.
And the third Muppet movie was Muppets Take Manhattan, which was way more about them putting on a musical. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious to see if they do get to have a third Muppet movie from Disney.
I hope they do.
I don't know if they're going to do something completely original, because I kind of wish they do. Because I've liked sort of the parallels they've drawn with the first two movies, but I really like the whole idea of that sort of behind the curtain, the Muppets are doing the movie like the Muppets would make a movie.
Yes.
Which they sort of lose that after the third one and beyond. Mm-hmm. And I really hope they keep that up, and so I hope we see something completely unique and original, but with that same sort of idea.
Yes.
I think the Muppets are the best when you let them just be the Muppets. And what would the Muppets actually do, and let them do that.
Muppets are also pretty good when they are still the Muppets, but they're the Muppets doing a whole cloth parody of something.
It's true. But I feel those are the best, those are best done not as movies.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
I don't mind, Muppet Treasure Island and... Well, I think Muppet Treasure Island I would like better if it does. I can't remember if it does or not. I'm going to have to go back and watch it now. There might be another Muppet OSMcast in the future. Who knows? I am never against Muppets. But anyways, I think we've talked enough about Muppets. This has been the OSMcast, your podcast for everything awesome, including Muppets. You can find us at OSMcast.com, OSMcast on Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr. Email us at OSMcast.com. Leave us comments on our website. Any complaints? Didn't like Muppets? Screw you. But you can email podcast at chainsofbuffet.com. We don't mind. They might read it. We probably won't. But thanks. And we'll see you next time. We are out.
We've had comedy.
We've had mystery. Had a real good time and solved a crime real easily. Hey, a movie!
I just can't believe they did it.
Starring everybody.
And me. There was spectacle.
There was fantasy
Where we took a chance.
and saw romance and happily.
In a movie.
Oh, Kermit.
I just love a happy ending. One for